All right, welcome to the October board meeting of Utah State Board of Education. Glad to have board members, stakeholders, teachers, the public. Glad to be with you this morning. As usual, we'd like to thank our Utah Highway Patrol Officer, Chris Horrocks, for being with us and point out that in the event of emergency, you got 2 exits over here, leading out to exits on either side of the building. All right, let's do a roll call now before I forget, because half the time it's 10:30 before I remember to do that. So, Member Bogus.
Yes.
Member Booth. Yes. Member Klein. Member Klein, are you with us online out there? Not yet? Okay. Member Davis. Yes. Vice Chair Earl.
Yes.
Member Green.
Yes.
Member Hart.
Yes.
Member Hymas.
Yes.
Member Hymas is with us. Okay. Member Carey, I think, is not quite yet, but on his way. Unless you're out there, Joe. Okay. Member Lear.
Yes.
Member Norton.
Yes.
Member Reel.
Yes.
Member Straight.
He's still on his way.
Okay. He's not online. Okay. Member Wood.
Yes.
And Member Moss is here. So we do have a quorum. And let us turn to hang on here. Got to make sure I got the right day in front of me. Vice Chair Hart,
Yes.
could you lead us in the pledge?
Absolutely. If everyone would please stand. And repeat. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we will turn to our member message, which we have Member Lear, correct?
I'm actually filling in for Matt Hymas, who's on the road. So I appreciated him giving me this opportunity. Not, but okay. I couldn't not talk about teachers today. Tonight is the spectacular Utah Teacher of the Year banquet. Saturday, October 7th, is World Teacher Day. The theme is beautiful and relevant to us. And it is the teachers we need for the education we want, the global imperative to reverse the teacher shortage. World theme, that's a great message. Because I wanted to talk about teachers, both factually and personally, I did research. With the very excellent assistance of Dr. Malia Haidt and data guru Kristen Campbell from the USBE, I did that research. The following are interesting teacher data to be prepared with for World Teacher Day. Utah has 33,149 teachers. The male to female ratio is 1 to 3.5, which is unfortunate. I think I'm so grateful that women have good steady jobs, but I also believe that having men in the classrooms as role models is really, really important, and I think that is fading. The teacher's average years of experience in Utah is 11.2, which I think sounds pretty impressive. 92.5 of our teachers have completed licensure programs or preparation and have professional licenses. Also very impressive. Our data show that teachers with a professional license are more than 30% more effective in helping students be academically proficient. For students in low-income families, the impact is even more profound. Teachers with a professional license are 58% more effective in helping students from low-income families to be proficient in mathematics. Again, interesting. I also did personal family research. We asked parents for their opinions about teachers. Supervisors evaluate teachers. A committee of experts selects an amazing teacher of the year, but we don't often ask the clients, our children, and our neighbors' children what they value in teachers. Have we ever asked our Student Advisory Council what they value and most in their teachers? We should. I ask all my grands, both grandchildren and grandnieces and nephews, for one word that describes a teacher they like. And here's a summary and graphic of their responses. Cue to Kelsey. My oldest grandniece, Maddie, a former Science Sterling Scholar from Westlake High School in Saratoga Springs and a current almost student teacher at Utah State, used the most sophisticated words: comedic, diligent, and compassionate. Isaac said goofy. Lucy said funny. Funny was popular among my grandchildren. Mason, a sophomore at Highland High School, said supportive. Stillman said not strict. Kennedy said patient. Hudson said humorous. He probably said funny, and his parents changed that word. Briggs, a freshman at East High, said funny. Sophie, also a soccer player, said creative. Davis, still in elementary school, said fun and kind. My older grandsons, previously in Columbus, Ohio, now in Seattle, one a high school graduate with great athletic ambitions, said awesome. Hugh said energetic, because he is, and Wells said chill. My next to youngest granddaughter, she just started preschool 2 weeks ago, said her teachers are kind. Pretty insightful for a 3-year-old. If my grands were rating teachers, the consensus is the teachers should be stand-up comics and vice versa. Finally, my personal thank you and tribute to teachers in whatever stage of teaching you're in, that includes my many colleagues on the State Board of Education who are currently or have been teachers. Happy Teacher of the Year Day, which is officially Saturday. This is for all my tribute to them. This is for all the teachers who didn't win the Teacher of the Year award tonight. All the runners-up and all the wannabes, the teachers who are too overwhelmed or discouraged to care. This is for all the teachers and coaches who froze or burned their buns off on metal bleachers at football, soccer, and softball games on Friday afternoons and nights when they could have attended their own children's piano recitals or campouts. This is for all the teachers who held sick students throwing up hot dogs and cherry Kool-Aid or punch, whose parents promised them you'll feel better when you get to school. This is for all the teachers who fled Ukraine, hoping for a safer life for their students and for their own families. This is for the teachers who stayed, saw unspeakable disasters, and protected other parents' children in addition to their own. For the teachers of the victims of school shootings at Sandy Hook Elementary, Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, and Santa Fe High School, and multiple other schools, and the teachers of the murderers. For the teachers of the survivors who finally watched their TVs in horror, hugging their own children who are safely home from school. For all the teachers who have Valentine boxes and Halloween parties and holiday pageants, and all the teachers who don't. What makes a good teacher anyway? Is it patience, creativity, compassion, a strong back, the ability to teach reading, tie a shoe, and engage a class all at the same time? Or is it heart? Is it a gaze, truly looking at and listening to another, that author David Brooks talks about? Is it the ache a teacher feels when she watches a 6th grader eat lunch alone every day? So this is for the health or physiology teachers who thoughtfully teach children and explain about body parts, and for the teachers who know they are supposed to but now are fearful. This is for the teacher reading Night Moon twice a day, every read aloud day for a year, and then reading it again, just one more time. This is for all teachers who mess up, who yell at their 5th graders and stomp their feet like tired 2-year-olds, or occasionally let a cuss word slip. This is for all teachers who teach kids to tie their shoes because their parents just didn't get around to it. This is for teachers who teach PE and make sure girls can sink a jump shot, and those who teach CTE foods and nutrition and teach boys to cook and use a sewing machine. Big shout out to Kimbo Reel at Churchill Junior High, who is one of these teachers. This is for teachers who automatically respond to a child crying "teacher" in a grocery store when they really know they're not in school. This is for teachers who can't reach students who won't learn to read or who are lonely or afraid every day. This is for teachers who have snacks in their desks for hungry 2nd graders, and for those who hope other teachers will have granola bars for their own hungry children. This is for young teachers who are sleep deprived and overwhelmed every single day, and for those mature teachers who are reluctantly facing retirement and learning to let go. This is for grandpa teachers and teachers who have children at home, single teachers and depressed teachers, teachers who are supplementing a family income, and teachers who are taking second and third jobs to stay in a profession they love. This is for you all. Hang in there. Please pass this along to the teachers who are friends, spouses, neighbors, colleagues, and teachers of your children. True advocates catch you when you fall, give you support and assistance, and we all fall. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Lear. All right, thank you, Member Lear, and we'll go to our education highlight, Kelsey James.
Okay. I have my PowerPoint presenting on my computer, so I'm not sure why it's looking like that on the screen. Okay, we'll just roll with it. Thank you, Chair Moss, Kelsey James, Board Communications Coordinator. I have the wonderful pleasure today to introduce some wonderful people who managed to be with us in person today to celebrate two schools who were recognized as National Blue Ribbon schools here in Utah. I'm just going to give a brief overview and then I'll turn it over to them for more information. And it's not going to... Cool. Okay, we'll do it that way. So just in case you're unaware, the National Blue Ribbon Schools is a program run by the U.S. Department of Education. They have a large and very tenuous application process that the schools must go through. Hundreds of pages of writing, letters, essays, and references, and data, everything that you have to submit to the Department of Ed to be considered to be one of these schools. There are two categories, one for exemplary high performing and one for exemplary achievement gap closing. They rely on test scores showing certain levels of proficiency you have to meet for a certain percentage of your students to show that they are high performing or achievement gap closing. Both of the schools with us today are under the high performing category, so their students are showing high levels of proficiency across the board. They get invited to an award ceremony held in Washington, D.C. in November, and the two schools we will introduce today are the 22nd and 23rd schools from Utah in total to earn the honor. So I'll turn it over to them. We have two representatives from two schools with us. One is Milford Elementary in Beaver School District, and one is Wasatch Elementary in Salt Lake City School District. So I'll start with Principal Hollingshead from Milford Elementary, and he'll just take a few minutes to discuss what his school did, and then we'll turn it over to Principal Kumik, and I hope I'm saying your name right. Okay.
This works. There we go. I'm told I have a loud voice, so I appreciate being here today, and I appreciate that message that was delivered. The process that we went through, that I went through, I've been a principal. This is my 7th year, and I just got an email about a blue ribbon school thingamajigger, and I didn't know what it was about, and so I didn't really do anything about it. Just kind of left it there. I did have knowledge of what a blue ribbon school was, because our school had previously gotten it in 2011, but I wasn't a part of it or wasn't there. And so the reason why I applied for it, because it is a very lengthy application, was solely for the teachers. I wanted to make sure that if by chance we got it, they would have that recognition in their lives that they dedicate so much to. And so I actually made it a school-wide thing, we all applied for it together. My entire staff, aides, special ed teacher, regular ed teachers, we all had a part to fill out in this process. And the way it came together was very beautiful. I feel like a couple of my teachers are very much more eloquent than I when it comes to writing, and so they did an amazing job. And when we received the award, I was ecstatic, especially for my teachers. When a couple of things they wanted me to talk about, what made us a Blue Ribbon school. I think it's impressive. When I became a principal, we were a turnaround school. We had some low scores, and we weren't doing the greatest. And so in a short time to go from a turnaround school to a Blue Ribbon school, it really meant a lot. But I have teachers that come early and stay late every single day. Their work ethic is tremendous, and they obviously care about their students. We are a small rural community. Their kids play with the kids in their class, and it truly feels like family. And so some of the things that I believe that made us get there were setting goals, school-wide goals, and classroom goals, and we never let that get out of our sight. Every data meeting, every faculty meeting, we talk about our goals and what we want to achieve and how to get there. And I think that has been so important. Also, the other thing that is a huge focus in our school is leadership and character education. We believe that soft skills, as a lot of people call them, were going by the wayside in our school. And we wanted to reinstill those skills and those character traits, and we focus on them relentlessly. The whole child is important, not just academics, and so we've really focused on that. And we found as we did that, our academics just kind of naturally rised as the character education was taught in our school. So I don't know if you have any questions, but I'm just so proud of my teachers and all my staff. I love them, and this award is for them. And I feel so privileged to be able to represent them, and I wish I could have brought all of them so you could see how amazing they are. So thank you.
Oh, now it's on. I brought my assistant principal, Jim Smith, with me because he was really integral in the process of the application part of our Blue Ribbon. So I asked him to talk a little bit about the application process and all the work that has to go into that, and what we discovered as a team through that application process about our school and the things that are great and the things that we still want to strive to move forward with. So, Mr. Smith, you can start.
All right. Thank you for having us. I'm going to try and monitor my voice volume because I've been told that when I have a microphone, it gets a little loud. So apologies in advance. But yeah, so that last year was my first year in administration, and obviously my first year at Wasatch. And selfishly, for us to get this opportunity to go through the process of applying was fantastic for me just in my own career. And I feel like it was fantastic for us as a young team working together, as well as for our entire staff. The process allowed us to take a really big deep dive, connecting with what you're saying. It is a lengthy process. And it comes at a great time, too, in the winter when there's really not too much going on in the school, right? That was sarcasm. There's a ton going on. But it really did give us that time for Adrian and I to go further into the data of what we have going on at Wasatch, what had been going on, what's going forward, and making sure that we have the systems in place that we want, and identifying areas of need and areas to focus on for improvement. Through all this process, we also continuously came back to how supportive our staff is and how awesome our staff is, as well as our community. And through it all, not only did we get this awesome recognition, but we became stronger as a school. So, thank you.
So we spent a lot of time, because it's a lengthy process, reflecting and talking together about all the different areas. You have to talk about your language arts and your math and the physical education. And what really became clear through that process to me is what makes our school successful, and is that we focus on the whole child. So as I looked through everything and looking at all the processes we have in place, everything is there to support the whole child. We have a strong academic focus, and our MTSS process helps us to focus on that with the RTI component. We really dig deep. Every week we have a team that meets and we dig deep into the data, and we brainstorm things to help support all of the students who might be falling behind or are having attendance issues or having behavior issues. Anything that we want to talk about, we have a team that meets every week to have conversations with all the different specialists in our building so that we can harness all the knowledge to help the whole child. We do focus on academics, but we talk about what are their strengths and how can we harness those strengths and how can we use those strengths to move them forward in the areas that are not strengths for them. And then in our MTSS process, we have a PBIS system that's very much about celebrating students who are being successful in the expectations we have in our school. We laid out very clear expectations for all the different areas, our lunchroom, our hallways, our bathrooms, our playgrounds. All of the different areas have very clear, concise, and simple expectations, but the most important part is that we work very hard to catch students doing well with those expectations. We watch and we find examples to celebrate, and we have lots of structures in place in our school now that are very positive structures. We don't want to focus on the kids that are having a hard time meeting those expectations as much as we want to celebrate and use models of the kids who are meeting those expectations. We have everybody in our school, our custodial staff, our after-school program, our bus driver, our kitchen staff, everybody hands out star tickets to our kids. We are the Wasatch Stars, and they can get tickets to be in the Wasatch Shining Star Club, and every single adult in our building finds kids doing the right thing and celebrates them. And it's really fun to see when parents come in the building with their kids and they're looking for their star, and they're just so excited to share the good things that they're doing. And I think that helps us to celebrate and focus on our whole child. We also have an incredible community-supported arts program at our school. The arts program, I think, we do a very good job integrating our core content subject areas through the arts. We do dance, drama, music, and visual art at our school. And that is another way we support the whole child, because students who may not be proficient reader right now can learn more about a content area through dancing about it, through drawing a picture about it, through singing a song about it. So we're providing so many opportunities for students to learn in all of these different ways. So no matter how they learn or what their proficiency level is in math or reading or anything else, they can fully participate in the content through our arts program, which also ties us very tightly to our community. We have a very engaged community. We just had our first arts night last week, and that is an opportunity for parents to come in and experience creating art with their kids. So it was great, and we make sure we're in constant communication through our community events, but we also, everybody sends home weekly communication to families. If we're celebrating a student, we make a call home. If we have a problem with a student, we make a call home. There's just constant communication so that we're getting our families' input on their students as well, so that we can learn even more about the child beyond what we just see in the classroom. And finally, The other component that I think is huge for why we were successful and won this award is because I have a faculty and a staff that are open to possibility. I think they do an amazing job at seeing possibility in the future, and they're not closed to new ideas. They're willing to listen to different ways of doing things and consider incorporating new methods into what they do because they know there's possibility. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Superintendent Dixon would like to say something.
Just thank you.
Thank you, Chair Moss. Thank you and congratulations to you all and to all of your students and staff and everybody that worked so hard. I just want to clarify for the public, I know that Principal Hollingsworth talked about that application, and it's intense. But you had to qualify for that. So this program has been around since the 80s, and as Kelsey indicated, they have to qualify. And I'm just thinking back, as long as I've been in the state office, I think we've only had 3 schools maybe qualify in any given year. So it's a very small N size across the country of schools who qualify in every state. And then once you qualify, you are invited to apply. And I think that's a really important point, that it's not just that it's open to everybody and you get to apply, but you have to qualify. I can remember a couple of years that we didn't have anyone who qualified. So Kristen Campbell and others have the history, and if you want to know how they qualify, we can dive into that for you. But it's a rigorous process to get there, and then that rigorous application. So thank you for following through on the application and being recognized for your excellent work. Appreciate it.
Questions, comments from other board members? Member Bogus.
Hi, friend. I just wanted to tell you I'm really happy to see you here. As you were talking, I know. Adrian and I had the opportunity to work together a few years back, and it doesn't surprise me that you've excelled here. You're a wonderful leader. Thank you for what you've done for kids. And as she spoke, I remember one year they raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for their arts programs. It's a community endeavor, and so she talks about community engagement. It's no small part of what they do at Wasatch. So thank you. It's good to see you here, and congratulations again to all of you.
Any other comments, questions? Member Norton.
Yes, I had a moment to talk to our friends from Beaver County here before the meeting, and I'm so happy for their success. There's been some hard times in Beaver County lately, not in part because of the education community. They are outstanding, but they had a lot of jobs pick up and leave, and that's a big trial. But through that, this group has really shined. And in addition to this wonderful award, and I was reflecting on this as I was driving through there yesterday, in addition to having a blue ribbon school from this rural district, we also have a administrative office that received national attention for their outstanding financial reporting. So I'm just there's nothing short of excellence that's happening in Beaver County, and it's not the first time. So good job.
Others? Okay. Well, I just want to say thank you for, we can see the why you do this in your faces, but I appreciate the how that you walked through. I mean, lots of detail about how you did it. And so ULEAD is looking at schools that help people build character traits and produce academic success. So don't be surprised if they reach out to you. That's one of the priorities that was identified. So it's great to hear how you produce these results and serve these kids. So thank you again. Great to have you with us.